So we actually had a Raw main evented by somebody other than the Vision and or LA Knight or the Usos, because tonight we had Rhea Ripley against Asuka in the main event, which was actually a tremendous match between both ladies here. They're obviously still telling the story between all four ladies, in particular Io Sky, Asuka, and Rhea Ripley. Obviously tonight there was tensions, as there always is with Rhea and Asuka, and they made this match official for the main event. And tonight was the official heel turn by Asuka onto Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, because we had this match in the main event. Like I said before, it was actually a pretty good match here between both ladies here, between Rhea and Asuka, because eventually during the match Asuka signals towards Kairi Sane, kind of, hinting that she should, attack Rhea while the referee isn't looking, while the referee is distracted. Although Kairi really, she's having like second thoughts about this, like she's second guessing herself. She doesn't know whether or not she wants to attack Rhea, but when she eventually does go for it, Rhea counters, and Asuka ends up inadvertently bumping into Kairi Sane, which then gives Rhea Ripley the opportunity for the roll-up pin. And then afterwards, after Rhea wins the match, Asuka starts to attack her and tells Kairi to again attack Rhea, kind of against her will. Kairi, being intimidated by Asuka and also kind of fearing Asuka in the same sense, does what she's told to do and starts to attack Rhea, and out comes Io Sky for the save. She tries to talk down Asuka into stopping the attack onto Rhea, and eventually it seems like she's calming down, but then she strikes Io Sky, and then she turns on Io Sky. She has Kairi Sane deliver the insane elbow from the top onto Io Sky. By the way, I forgot to mention this, Asuka misted Rhea Ripley, I think, during the attack. So all you see is this visual of both Io and Rhea on the floor, with Rhea just blue as hell. Her teeth are blue from the mist, or green, or whatever it is. Like you could physically see her. She literally changed colors right in front of our eyes. So you had to have known that, like, eventually, because Stephanie McMahon is the new women's champion, that they were obviously going to forward this with Io Sky and with Rhea Ripley, because when you look at the Crown Jewel, PLE match for Io Sky, there really isn't anything else other than a tag team match, which I presume is going to be the case heading into Crown Jewel. I presume you'll get the announcement made that Io Sky and Rhea Ripley are going to take on the Kabuki Warriors at Crown Jewel. Like I mentioned, Stephanie McMahon, she is the new women's world heavyweight champion. They had her come out there, just kind of cut a passionate promo there as far as her story and how long it took her to get to this position and why she's doing what she's doing, etc., etc. This is kind of just to let you know who she's going to possibly challenge at Crown Jewel, whether it's Nia Jax, whether it's Jade Cargill, or whether it's Tiffany. I think we all kind of know that it's going to be Tiffany Stratton. I think that's 100% the match that they're going to have is Tiffany against Stephanie at Crown Jewel. I also want to mention the fact that we had Cody Rhodes here kick off the show. They promoted Cody Rhodes being on this show, and right from the start you kind of had to figure that we were going to get a segment between Cody and Seth, because that's the Crown Jewel match that they're promoting now, champion versus champion, Seth against Cody. And I will say one thing, I typically don't like the champion versus champion sort of gimmick that they do for Crown Jewel, but with these two guys, at the very least, there's story there, right? There's a deep lore between Cody and Seth, and now we haven't really seen Cody and Seth, this version at the very least, in the same ring physically go at each other, right? We've seen little teases of it here and there, but tonight we had a full-blown promo between both of them, because Seth asked Cody what was his opinion on him, and Cody replied saying it was difficult, it was complicated, because on the one hand he is the man who helped give his family the WWE championship, who was his shield, but on the other hand he's done some questionable acts within the last couple of months, and he signaled at Paul Heyman, claiming that was one of his questionable decisions that he's made within the last couple of months. And Seth Rollins brought up the fact of how Cody Rhodes calls himself the QB1, how he's the quarterback, but yet he leaves out Seth Rollins, so either Seth Rollins isn't good enough or Seth Rollins isn't the vision. Now Cody considers himself the top guy. He also brought up the fact of how Cody gifted him a Rolex for the WrestleMania match at WrestleMania 40, and how you know, he's never worn it until now, and how he wonders whether that was legitimate or that was a token gift. And then Cody ends off the promo saying, you know, the last 3 times that we've wrestled together, it's been one-on-one, you against me alone. He said, will that be the case come Crown Jewel? The last 3 times, how many times have you won? And that's sort of the mic drop there between Cody and Seth. So again, like I mentioned before, I think that, you know, at this point, I think Seth has to get his win back, because if Seth goes in there and loses 4 times to Cody Rhodes, I don't think that's gonna really help out Seth. Plus, he just lost at WrestlePalooza, and Cody just won at WrestlePalooza. And if you want to create the War Games match, you know, between the Vision and the group of baby faces that are going to take on the Vision at Survivor Series, I think you have to have Seth get the win here, whether that's with the Vision's help or whether that's by Drew McIntyre's help or something along those lines. I think Seth walks away with the win here. I also really like the whole Jey Uso dynamic, because Jey Uso, at this point, he's kind of a tweener, right? Because we had Jey Uso against LA Knight here, and Jey Uso got the win. But post-match, we see LA Knight get attacked by the Vision. He's being cornered by the Vision. Jey Uso's already up the ramp, though. He's already leaving when Jimmy Uso comes out here and kind of, you know, tells Jey, like, hey, we gotta help him. We gotta help this guy out, right? And Jay's kind of like, you know, screw this, right? Forget this. And Jimmy Uso comes in, thwarts off the Vision for the meantime. But there's obviously some sort of, you know, tweener aspect now between Jey Uso. And even we saw a backstage segment between Cody and Jey where, you know, Cody was telling him, you know, there's ups and downs to this business, how, you know, you have to sometimes isolate yourself, but, you know, your friends and your family really care about you. And all the time, Jey Uso is staring at Cody's title. Now, does that mean anything? Probably doesn't mean anything, but at the same time, you kind of have to look at what is going on with this character, because I don't really think they're going to turn him heel. If they did, that would take some big balls from them to do it, but I think they're probably just going to run the angle of him being a tweener. And if anything, you may see LA Knight turn heel. One thing that I can't really ignore, which wasn't even on Raw, was John Cena literally politicking his way into an AJ Styles match, because I saw a tweet that John Cena put out before Raw went on the air with the caption, John Cena against AJ Styles, what are your thoughts? Hashtag WWE Raw. So again, like, what does that mean in particular? Does that mean we're actually going to get the John Cena AJ Styles match? Does that mean John Cena is literally fed up with Triple H's shit and he just wants somebody who he actually can have a great match with? I don't know. It's a you know, interesting thing to look at, because John Cena's never really done anything like this as far as actively, I guess, push for somebody to wrestle with. So it's very interesting that comes of this, the whole Bayley split personality gimmick here that we're seeing on television here between her and Lyra Valkyria. I think if they actually follow through with this and actually make it like somewhat of an actual serious threat, because sometimes it can be mistaken as comedy, but also I feel like if they actually give Bayley something to sink her teeth into, I think this could probably be the best thing that Bayley's done in a long time, because it felt like, you know, definitely before this whole split personality thing, that she was kind of lost in the shuffle here. But post your comments down below. Let me know what you thought of Raw here tonight. And until next time, I will see all of you on the next one.